2 weeks from today, the madness officially begins, and your Red Raiders will be firmly in the mix as one of the favorites to head down to San Antonio and cut down the nets in the Final Four. In today's video, we'll look at the latest bracketology projections, including that from ESPN, JBR Bracketology, CBS, and more, as well as, did Texas Tech get a quad one win last night? Technically, they did. We'll look at that and much more in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, and appreciate y'all tuning in lately to this content that we have here on the channel. When it comes to everything Texas Tech men's basketball, it has been an historic week here on the channel when it comes to Texas Tech men's basketball. So a sincere thank you to you guys. If y'all know anything about this channel, we like to get interactive, and that's what we're going to do to start this video today. Going to ask you guys to head down to the pinned comment, and you tell me right now, 2 weeks from today, March Madness officially begins. I want you to tell me, what seed do you think Texas Tech will be? Obviously, they've got another game on Saturday, the regular season finale. Hopefully, they win a Big 12 tournament title up in Kansas City. But right now, today, tell me what you think Texas Tech will be in terms of a seed in the NCAA tournament on the pinned comment down below. All right. I teased it in terms of last video here on the channel discussing bracketology and saying, could Texas Tech really be on the 2 line? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is yes. And here's Joe Lunardi. Again, I want to preface everything. These are projections, but these guys do this for a living. That doesn't mean they're right all the time, but you get a good idea of where the committee is going to go with Texas Tech in terms of, are they going to be a 2, a 3? I think they're going to be in that mix. I think they're firmly on the 3 line at worst. But right now, Joe Lunardi has Texas Tech as the final 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. And honestly, that region right there in the West, where Florida's the 1, Texas Tech is the 2, Wisconsin's the 3, and Kentucky is the 4. If that happens, sign me the hell up, and I would have Texas Tech going to the Final Four in quite a few brackets. I'll just be point blank and honest with you about it. But Texas Tech is on the 2 line here. They're also on the 2 line over at friends of the program, JBR Bracketology. They do a great job over on Twitter. Highly recommend you follow them during this March Madness process. They also have Texas Tech as the 8th overall seed in the NCAA tournament as it stands right now. You can see it on your screen where they have Auburn, Duke, Houston, Alabama as the top 4 teams, with Tennessee, Florida, Michigan State being the only other 2 seeds in front of Texas Tech. So you have that. I think Texas Tech, there's going to be some teetering, right? I think they're going to either be, in my opinion, the last 2 seed or the top 3 seed. That's kind of where I'm at with Texas Tech right now. And obviously, a lot can change over the next week. Selection Sunday is just 10 days away, so we've still got some time to really discuss all this bracketology. Now, CBS is one of the lower sites when it comes to Texas Tech. As you can see on your screen, they have the Red Raiders as the last 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, which personally I don't get. The only thing I can think of is strength of schedule, but that really doesn't make any sense from the St. John's perspective. Texas Tech plays in a tougher conference. I get it. St. John's hasn't done anything to hurt themselves in terms of their 4 losses or combined less than 10 points. I really, truly get it. But when you look at everything, Texas Tech is better in the net than every team that is a 3 seed, according to Jerry Palm over at CBS. They have as many quad 1 wins, right? The only thing that I think hurts them in terms of the CBS projection, and I strongly disagree with it, as I mentioned earlier, is the non-con strength of schedule. And to be honest with you, I really don't think it should be that big of a factor, but we shall see. Because when you look at wins against bubble, something that the committee has said that they will look at this year, Texas Tech is in the top 15, okay? This doesn't add up in terms of where they are compared to other teams in terms of wins against bubble. They're better than St. John's. They're better than Purdue. They're on the same line as Texas A&M. They're better than Wisconsin. It's just interesting to see where they have Texas Tech right now. And yeah, this is the lowest that I could find the Red Raiders on any site. Now, we move on over to KenPom. And again, Texas Tech, 7th in the country, according to KenPom. You can see it on your screen right there, and they still fit the criteria to win a national championship. This is the best offense Texas Tech has had in the KenPom era. Maybe the best statistical offense Texas Tech has ever had in program history. We talked about it in the recap video for the Colorado game last night here on the channel, saying that this team has more threes made in a season than any other Texas Tech team in program history, and they're going to continue to build upon that. They also have more 15 assist games than any other team in program history. So they move the ball well, they shoot the hell out of it, and they have the Big 12 Player of the Year in JT Toppin. And if he's not, I'm looking right in the camera right here. You're wrong, voters. JT Toppin is clearly the Big 12 Player of the Year. Okay, you go and look, and I mentioned Texas Tech, did they pick up a quad one win last night? They, in fact, did. And you may be wondering to yourself, well, Colorado wasn't a quad one win. How did they do that, RC? Shout out to the Kansas State Wildcats going up to Cincinnati and beating the Bearcats. They moved in to the top 75 of the net, which then translates to Texas Tech in their road victory earlier in the season up in Manhattan to a quad one victory. So the Red Raiders now sit at 7 quad one wins on the year. By the way, don't look now, people. We'll go look at it on your screen real quick. You may notice a team in the top 70. St. Joseph's. That loss isn't great, but it's not as bad as people think anymore. The worst loss Texas Tech has this year by far is UCF. And they're still, in terms of a road victory or a road game, would be a quad one. But of course, a quad one in a home setting is a top 30. So that's just a bad loss by Texas Tech. There's no debating that. But St. Joe's on a neutral court, it's not awful. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not as bad as people think, right? So you look at that, and then we head on over to Bart Torvik. As you can see on your screen right now, Texas Tech, again, top 7 in the country. They come in at number 7, do the Red Raiders, according to Bart Torvik. We're going to head on over and look at, well, just Texas Tech in general. Where do they rank in terms of offense and everything like that? Really over the past 10 games. Texas Tech is a top 7 offense. They're barely outside of the top 40. They still rank as a top 10 team in the country over the past 10 games, but the Red Raiders are the 21st ranked shooting team in the country at nearly 38%. They're a top 50 shooting team from the field. They shoot well from the free throw line, and they're holding opponents to really good percentages as well. So you look at that, the defense is playing really well right now. And if you head on down to the final remaining schedule, there's only one game left, and we'll preview that video here on the channel tomorrow. It's at Arizona State. Texas Tech will probably open up in that 6.5 neighborhood, according to Bart Torvik. We'll see what BetUS, the official sports book of the Back to 12 podcast here in the month of March, has for the line when that is officially announced tomorrow. But I want to go back again. Look at this. Joe Lunardi, Texas Tech is on the 2 line here. You go and look at JBR. Again, a site that you need to go and follow. I shouldn't say site, a page you need to go follow over on Twitter. They have Texas Tech on the 2 line as well. As I get back on the screen here, I'll say it again. Is it likely Texas Tech ends up on the 2 line? And what I mean by likely, more than 50%, no, I don't think so. I think the most likely outcome is the Red Raiders are a 3 seed. And I think they're going to end up being the highest ranked 3 seed. I think that is the most likely seeding. So the number 9 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. That said, things have gone their way recently, including Iowa State losing, right? You've also had a couple of other things go their way if you're the Red Raiders. So you look at this, and Texas Tech has a real chance, more so than what they did just earlier last week, where I said, hey, Texas Tech, maybe like a 5% chance that they get a 2 seed. I think that has changed significantly. I think it's closer to really almost a coin flip at this point, because you have to think about it this way. Texas Tech has to handle business at Arizona State, which will not be easy. It is hard winning road games in the Big 12, period. It is just difficult to do. But you think about it from the perspective of in Kansas City, if you are Texas Tech. More than likely, if you get the 2 seed, which you are right now in the Big 12 tournament, you've already secured a double bye. It's just all about seeding at this point. But right now, you sit at the 2 line in terms of the number 2 overall seed in the Big 12 tournament, only behind Houston. You're more than likely, if you beat Arizona State and other outcomes go the way of odds, right, on Saturday, going to face Baylor. Okay, that's a quad one opportunity. You get another quad one win there, you move on. Let's just say you're the 2, you're facing the 3. That is either going to be Iowa State, BYU, Arizona, one of those schools, right? More than likely it would be Arizona if the standings hold right now. That's another opportunity at a quad one win. I'm not saying you're going to win the game, but you would have that opportunity. If you win that game, if you go by odds, you would face off against Houston for the 3rd time this season. We all know that's a quad one opportunity. So right now, if you are Texas Tech, you have at minimum, if you win the next 4 games, 4 quad one opportunities, because Arizona State is a quad one win opportunity since it's a road game and they are in the top 75 of the net, right? So Texas Tech has a really good chance to solidify themselves as a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament and even move up potentially to 7, depending on what else happens across these conference tournaments. A lot has to go on. I get it, but I think Texas Tech, their chances of being a 2 seed and having the highest seed in March Madness in program history are alive and well. But I want to hear from you guys. You tell me, Texas Tech will be a blank seed in the NCAA tournament. You heard me say that I think the most likely outcome is the top overall 3 seed, so the 9th overall seed in the tournament. But I want to hear from you because I think the 2 seed odds have increased dramatically just over this past week. Some things have gone their way. Texas Tech has handled business. Still some business to be held out in Arizona, in Tempe to be specific, this weekend. But right now, the Red Raiders are in a really good spot, and this team seems to be hitting their stride at the perfect time in year 2 of Grant McCasland. All right, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell for 100% free Texas Tech content all year long. But right here in March, we're going to have a ton of content for you. Daily videos. We're going to be going live for Selection Sunday, and on that Sunday, well, we're going to have a giveaway, another Home Field Apparel $50 gift card will be given away on Selection Sunday here on the channel. So the best way to be notified that, hey, we're live here on the channel, I want a chance to win a $50 gift card, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel. And as always, stay safe and Recom Tech.